It's essential that you understand these steps, how to create a library, importing media, changing import settings, and creating a project before you get to the timeline. It's essential that you understand this workflow. If you're creating maybe a short video for social media, then it's fine. Like we talked about in the last video, you can just simply drag and drop files into Final Cut and edit, export, and that's it. But if you're creating a long form project like a feature film or a documentary or a music video, maybe import more files, move things around, send to the VFX team, send to the colorist, bring back all these materials, edit, and have your final. Like if you're going to do all of this on a long-term project, then you want to really stick with this workflow so that you can media manage properly. You have to be intentional about the settings, your import settings, your project settings. These are things you don't just want to use auto settings. You don't want to assume a setting from a previous project and just drag in these files and start working. You create a library, you import the media, you create a project before you get to the timeline. It just makes things easier and organized. All right, now that we've cleared that out, let's get into today's video. Before we create our project, let us quickly organize our library. This icon with 4 stars is your library. This icon with 1 star is your event. You can create more events inside your library. This can be different scenes, episodes, or days of shoot for your project. Remember, these keywords are folder names and tags from how they are saved on your computer. To create more keywords inside Final Cut Pro, choose a clip. By clicking the clip, it will be highlighted yellow. Or choose a part of a clip by pressing I at the start point and O on your keyboard at the end point. This makes a selection. You can also rate clips or selections as favorite or rejected. If your clips contain sections that you don't like or might never want to use because they are blurry, for example, you can mark them as rejected or your best sections as favorite. When you are ready to edit, you can focus on your best footage by choosing to display only favorites or hide rejected. On your clips, the blue line shows it has keywords, the green shows favorites, and the red shows rejected. Let's move on to create our project. You select File, New, and Project, or just simply click on the Create Project icon on the timeline area. Name your project. The project is created inside your events. This is where you choose your video format. This is where you select your resolution. This is where you choose your frame rate. I usually choose 25p. For rendering, I use Apple ProRes 422HQ. For audio, I use stereo 48,000 Hz. To close the project, choose File, Close Project, or click the down arrow at the top of the timeline, then choose Close Project. To open a project, in the library sidebar, select the event containing the project you want to open. Locate the project and double-click on it. As your project evolves, you can decide to change its settings, or for instance, you want to create a vertical version of your timeline or project. This is what I do. First, I duplicate my project, then select the one I want to modify and go to the inspector and choose Modify. Now, change the name and choose the new settings. You can add clips directly to the timeline by dragging them from the browser. This icon will connect or attach your selected clip to other clips in the timeline. Maybe you want to add a cutaway or a title or a lower third to your primary storyline. This icon will insert your new clip or selection into your edit. Now make sure the playhead is at the right point you want the insert. This icon will append your clip or selection to the end of your primary storyline or timeline. This icon will overwrite the clip in your storyline with the new selection. It will start the overwrite from the point of your playhead. Once you click this drop-down menu right here, you find the several tools for editing. The first one is the Select tool. This is your primary tool for moving, trimming, and selecting clips. The second is your trim tool. Now, this tool allows you extend or shorten clips directly on your timeline. The third one is the position tool. This tool lets you move freely without affecting the other clips in the timeline. Now, Final Cut has what we call the magnetic timeline. We will go into this later in the series. The fourth tool here is called the range selection tool. The range selection tool allows you to select and work with a specific part of your clip. Once you click and drag, you make a selection. The blade tool allows you to cut clips at specific points, creating splits in your footage. The zoom tool helps you get closer look at your timeline, making precise edits easier. The hand tool allows you to navigate your timeline by clicking and dragging. Thank you for joining me in this tutorial. In case you found this helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more filming tips and tutorials. Happy editing and see you in the next video.